Hello and welcome everyone to episode 32 of Spreading the Nerd, the Grab Bag Edition episode. I'm your host, Clint Coombs, and my trusty sidekick is none other than famed Rick Davis. How are you, sir?
Famed.
Yeah,
I'm getting by. It's been a couple of weeks.
it has, sir.
You're probably somewhat unfamiliar looking to people in these parts these days.
Yeah, plus the last time
You
I
are
was on, I
also
was
in the
sort of
Hellmouth,
weird
as
too.
we can see by the
Apparently.
background.
Yeah, thanks to my daughter watching God knows what.
She's okay. Hi.
Oh yeah, it has been a couple weeks, and it has been a day. It's been a day. I've been up since like 5 this morning to go to a work meeting that was like 2 hours south, and then I sat there for 2 hours or 4 hours doing nothing, sitting in a chair, tired, and then just dealing with crappy work stuff after. So I was like, I'm done with this day. I'm so done.
Yeah, I noticed you were rather unresponsive. Like I sent you a couple random texts and you answered it.
Yeah,
like,
I was just
you answered at like 2:30. I was like, oh, okay.
I was so busy and like banging my head against the wall. God. But yeah, I'm glad to be back because I haven't really been on much. So I'm glad to be here. Definitely. Nissa's in the chat. Thanks for coming in. That's me next Wednesday. You got to get up early, Nissa. I don't like it. I
assumed she meant the meetings, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe, yeah. Either way, I don't like meetings, and I don't like getting up early and then having to drive.
I had to have a
2
meeting
hours.
earlier this week with a vendor that I used to buy all kind of material from, and then they really pissed me off, so I just outright stopped, and I had to deal with their new national accounts manager to come in and try to soften me up, and I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like me by the time you leave here, because I have a lot of things to say about your company, and none of them are good.
Oh, boy.
None of them are good. And then he proceeded to clearly bullshit through his teeth, and I didn't buy one word of it. And I'm like, hey, all I can say is if you want my business back, I understand you didn't do it. You weren't here, but you have a lot of work to do. That's all I can say.
Nissa, yeah, staff meeting. Gross. We'll pray for you. Thoughts and prayers. Gosh.
Rip in peace.
I've been playing anything this week at all, or?
Well, it's been kind of a crazy, let's say, week and a half. I mean, obviously, the last week I was kind of fighting off the bubonic plague.
You were sick there.
But I mean, mostly Kingdom Come, Monster Hunter, and a little bit of Stalker is pretty much primarily what I've been playing it. So nice. Sprinkled a little bit of other things here and there, but I mean, those specifically Monster Hunter and Kingdom Come have been the lion's share of it. They've probably been 85% of what I've played for the last 2 weeks. So.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, I went and saw the Final Fantasy Rebirth Orchestra over last weekend, which is it was really good. I wish they had played some more themes, but it was very good. I definitely enjoyed it.
The problem is that genuinely, if you look, the soundtrack to those games is unbelievable. Well, I guess this was only Rebirth, but Remake in particular, it's. I mean, I have the soundtrack up on my shelf over here. It's damn it, there we go. It's like 7 discs.
Oh, it's crazy.
But I mean, a lot of those are the same track, just performed differently or whatever. But I mean, that's some of the ones you told me they didn't play did surprise me. Like Aerith seems like a pretty really obvious performance, but
yeah, they played like 20 seconds of it before going into One Winged Angel, which was
so it was more the end of the Genova. I guess it doesn't go to Genova though, so
yeah. So I mean, it was good. I just wish I had heard some of the classics. Mm-hmm. But they did
play the main theme into the opening.
Yes, they did do that. Yeah,
so I'll say that's a pretty epic introduction. So
yeah, that was good. And surprise, they had a chorus. The chorus was fantastic, or a choir there or whatever. And the funniest thing was they played that "Bow Wow Wow" song from the side quest of the dog, and the chorus was just like the choir was just like getting right into it, singing and like dancing. It was good. The thing that really sucked was I got there about an hour and 10 minutes early, and because I wanted merchandise, and
Yeah, that's not
It's
early
a
enough. That's
pretty
not early enough to get merchandise there.
Nope. I got there and I saw the line literally going around the
Yeah.
block. I'm like, no way.
Within 15 minutes, the merch lines for that stuff is usually
Yeah.
200 people deep.
So as soon as I got in there, I was like, where's the merch line? And it literally was up like 4 flights of stairs, wrapped around into the basement. And all I wanted, because all they had was Tifa, Aerith, and the Chocobo stuffies or whatever, plushes. And I was
What's
like,
wrong
I
with the
want,
Chocobo plushie?
huh?
What's wrong with the Chocobo plushie?
Oh, nothing's wrong with the Chocobo.
I
I
was gonna
wanted the
say,
Chocobo.
I'll say that would look real nice right about there.
And I was literally probably 6 people from getting up to the merchandise table, and they're like, "Oh, we just sold out." And I'm like, I
That
was
yeah, actually,
fuming.
this was before the show, I'm assuming.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah, the ones
yep.
that I went to. Now, so if you remember, I went to 3 concerts within 2.5 weeks period. Like about what, 2 years ago? Yeah, because this one Rhea was a puppy. So yeah, about 2 years ago. The first one I went to was just a straight up Distant Worlds concert.
Yep.
That one is your most routine, if you want to call it that, Final Fantasy orchestra, right? And that one, it was at it's called Heinz Hall. It's in Pittsburgh here. It's a just an orchestra hall. I'd been there before for Kingdom Hearts and for Zelda, so I kind of knew what was going on. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, I'll stop before that. Yeah, I didn't go to the merch table before that. I'll tell you that much, because that merch line was forever long. However, I was like, you know what? I have to get something. So when I had a feeling that intermission was coming up, and I guessed pretty right, me and Krista like sprinted over there. There's a bit of a line, but it wasn't too bad, because you get like, I don't know, a half hour maybe for it. And I ended up spending a lot of money on soundtracks. I'll tell you that much. And then actually afterwards, I want to say I kind of regretted a couple I didn't get. So that's when I went over in in line again and got the ones that I didn't have. Oh, it's getting bloody there again.
It's like a goddamn rave up in here, Jesus.
Then the second concert was the piano orchestra in Cincinnati. That one I didn't get anything, because they actually didn't even have a merch table for that, which was really weird.
Yeah, I went to the piano one with Ellery.
I was going to say, is that the one when you met Ellery?
Yeah, and yeah, they had like a tiny table, and it was just a few CDs, and I was like,
they didn't have. I even asked, like, I heard people asking. They did not have one. They had like a snack thing. That was it. But the last one then was the one that I've actually said most people don't even know what it is, but it was by far my favorite. It was New World, which it's an orchestra, but it's the orchestra where it was like reduced down to the minimum number of instruments to play it. So instead of having like a 50-piece orchestra, you had like a 13-piece playing it.
Nice.
And it sounds like nothing, but if you hear the soundtrack, see, I knew what it was because I had bought these soundtracks when I went to that first Distant Worlds, and I was like, man, this actually sounds pretty amazing. Like One Winged Angel, for example, sounds like a horror song. It's wild, because the like duh, 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 it's played by like a single like strum of a,
so
cello or something like that.
Yeah.
So it really sounds like a horror thing, and it's actually that's actually kind of neat. That was by far my favorite that I've been to, just because it was so cool to see how such complicated songs, because I mean they obviously weren't even written for that game with the intention of actually the New Worlds one. I can't remember if that was a Final Fantasy VII only, or if that was the series, but either way, I want to say that was the whole series. It was, these were not written to be even played in an orchestra, but an orchestra can then translate them.
Right.
So it's interesting to hear how they were able to figure out how to do this with, instead of say 6 violins, it was 2, right? You had like you had like a rhythm and a main, or whatever, however you want to call that, in orchestra. So it had such a different sound, and it was really cool. And because it was a small concert, you also were not very far away. But that one, Krista and I Krista went to all 3 with me, actually.
Nice.
Krista and I got to that one pretty early, and they did have a merch table. It wasn't as big as Distant Worlds, but that was where I got what did I get? I got Final Fantasy 15's actual soundtrack, not Distant Worlds.
Right.
And another one. 8's maybe?
No.
I think I had bought 7's at Distant Worlds. I think I bought 8's. So between those 2 concerts, not even the third one, I probably bought $300 worth of merch, because those soundtracks are freaking expensive. Those soundtracks are like $50 a piece.
Yeah, because I think they had some CDs there, and I was like, maybe as a collector thing, I don't know. But I really wanted the vinyls, and they were gorgeous. They had them lined up, but the vinyls were like $75 a
The
pop, and
vinyls
I'm
are
like,
insane. Yeah, they are insane.
and I. I love that vinyls are coming back, and I love all the cool things that they're doing with them, and I want to collect them, but at the same
They
time,
might
I
have
don't.
they might be collectible and they might have the best sound, but they're the most unusable thing there is. So
Right.
I'm
I'm
just
like,
not
I'm
a
gonna
fan
have
of
to
them.
have a whole
Yeah,
table and some place to
yeah,
hold them. I'm like, I love them, but
yeah. Give me the CD. I'll rip it on my thing, put it on my
yep,
phone, and then I'm done with it. You know.
yeah, yeah. Thanks
No,
for
not yet,
sharing
soaking it.
Ellery's in
That is
chat.
yet
And
to come. That is yet to
Ellery's in
come. Do
chat.
not worry.
Silken it's here. I missed the start. Need to go eat. I hope I didn't miss. No, we haven't gotten to the punishment reveal yet. We're still just kind of like
How,
throwing things around.
how
I
long are you here for,
honestly,
soaking it? We can do it before you leave, depending if you're hanging out for a couple more minutes.
brother has a 10K plus record player. Jesus Christ, tell him to send some of it my way.
Oh, we got everybody jumping in here.
Baldwin's here. Oh my God, everybody coming.
All right. Well, Soaking it's got 5 minutes, so buddy, strap in.
All right,
Here you go.
Let's go.
So, for those who don't remember, a few weeks back, the last show that you've actually been on, you neglected your own policy and important part of the show, which was
it is.
that.
It's the best part of the show. Let's not.
It's almost like our calling card, right?
It is.
So,
the only way people stick around.
So, right. So we get viewership, right? So, Silken it. So I told Silken it, you need to think of a punishment because there's got to be something to this. Silken it watched some Taskmaster and saw one that actually was surprisingly fitting, and he and I brainstormed, and we're like, oh yeah, we're about to lose a friend because this is what he's gonna have to do.
God. What?
So I won't go into the details of necessarily about what they were doing, but the general gist is this: get yourself a nice bowl of vinegar, buddy. Because
no,
don't be too excited because you got to choose here. You got two choices. We're gonna leave this up to you.
Oh no!
You either for the next 4 shows.
Four.
And listen.
Okay. All right.
Either next 4 shows, 2 per show, right? And the cookie has to soak in vinegar for. I believe we decided on 1 minute. We decided that one last episode. Or your other option. You can do 1 show, but you got to eat 4 cookies on the 1 show.
Is it dipping the cookie?
No,
or is
no.
It soak.
It has to soak in it for 1 minute. We decided the length because I was like we should be like 5, and then someone was like he'll pick it up and it'll fall apart. I'm like that's true actually. So we decided on 1 minute. You get to pick. You either do 2 cookies 4 times or 4 cookies 1 time.
So what kind of
apple cider vinegar, or what you say is not relevant here. Sorry.
Or we can accept people make mistakes.
Nope.
Yes, but
nope.
That
kind of heretic statement can get you banned from this community. So
heresy. And so does it have to be a certain vinegar? Or can it be like apple cider vinegar, whatever, apple vinegar, whatever?
I would think vinegar is vinegar.
Distilled vinegar or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God, but it's got to sit in it for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna have to get like the hardest cookie that's not absorbent.
What? No, it's got to be a fortune cookie. You don't.
A fortune cookie?
Yeah.
Oh
fortune.
no!
I may not have told you that part. No, it's fortune cookies.
I was thinking of like any cookie.
No. You don't get to finagle this and get out of it.
The vinegar is gonna get in there. It's gonna be like a scoop of vinegar.
Well, get yourself a little spoon then.
Dip it out. Okay.
If you want to break them first, take out the thing and then dip them. I'll allow that. You might need a ladle. But
I'll say 4 1 episode. Just
I'll say you don't have to decide now. You can just tell me next episode. But that's the route we figured you would take to be.
If it's too bad, I can do the 2.
Right. You can change it.
All right. Yeah, I'm.
This will teach you. This will teach you. Be prepared next time, right?
Oh God. Yeah, that's. I mean, honestly, better than ketchup.
Really? I actually thought you would hate this one a lot more.
Yeah, I mean,
I would hate this one a lot more.
It's going to be potent. It's going to be potent, but
we should also have you put a little bit of salt on it, salt and vinegar virgin cookies.
Do it like what that guy.
Oh God, I hate that guy.
I hate
so
that
annoying.
Guy. It's so annoying. Thanks, Silkenit. Thanks for popping in real quick, sir.
Silkenit, I think that's going to be our new slogan. We accept mistakes; they accept the consequences.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh God. Well, on that note, yeah, I think.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, so next episode, I'll try and do 4.
You can think on it. You can tell us. Just
I'll try and do 4 and see how it goes.
Yeah,
but
if you have to spread it out, you can spread it out.
Because I like vinegar on like stuff.
Actually, so do I. But it'll be horrible on fortune cookies.
But yeah,
considering they're like made specifically with like vanilla extract and stuff, that's not going to mix well with vinegar.
No, it's gonna.
Now, to be clear, you will not be the first one doing it. Like when he watched this episode of Taskmaster, I don't remember what the whole point was, but that's what they had to do, and then some of them had to do it in like hot sauce, which would be, I think, even worse actually. And I love hot sauce. I think that would be terrible.
Yeah,
but
the thing is like
I want to say they started with vinegar and then had to move to hot sauce. Which
I wonder how fast it's gonna soak it in.
Oh, it doesn't fast. It doesn't fast. I can tell you right now.
I still
that was what I said. Except we don't want him to have the mental ability to make it less awful.
Salt and vinegar chips.
I love salt and vinegar chips. So
honestly, if you dipped it real quick, like bam, bam, probably wouldn't be bad.
I actually think it would absorb more than you think.
In.
I think it would absorb more than you think, because
I think it will.
Because vinegar is so thin.
Yeah.
That I think it'll absorb it pretty good.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm
thinking. But 1 full minute, you're gonna pick that thing up and it's gonna go.
I mean, I'll have to.
Like, I went with ketchup chips instead.
I'll even.
And I'll be laughing.
I'll even go a step further and say I have to pick it up with chopsticks. And then
I don't know if that'll even be physically possible. So
it might just fall right down.
Yeah,
like a nuclear bomb going
right
off in here. Jesus.
I'm telling you, that thing's gonna be paper when you go to pick it up.
God. Yeah, 5 minutes, it would probably dissolve.
Yeah, no, I said that, and I think it was Nicole. I think it was Nicole and Silken both. It's like, yeah, that probably wouldn't even last. And I was like, you're right, actually. That there will be nothing left by then.
Well, on that note,
I gotta start being careful, because if I make a mistake, man, the retribution is gonna be swift.
It's coming back.
So I gotta kind of. But remember, Silken had this idea. Remember that.
Okay.
And you were the one that wanted to do the ketchup chips. So technically, neither one of these ideas were mine. I just am the one benefiting from it.
I'm putting more tariffs on Silkenit. That's happening. Yeah. So that's the punishment. I'll do it. It's not bad.
Well, I know you will. There was no option.
What were we talking about? Oh, games we were playing.
Yeah.
I bought Monster Hunter. I made my character. Haven't touched it. I've been so busy, and now I'm finally settled. So hopefully I can play it more. I played a little bit of Kingdom Come. I'm getting back into World of Warcraft since I haven't played since November. So I'm like relearning it. And also a bunch of new content has dropped. So I'm totally lost. I'm just pushing buttons and hope it works. It's not working out too well, as Baldwin can attest by the damage meters, but I'm pretty far behind in like item level and stuff. So I'll get back there, but I haven't had time, because I'll get back home from work, do a bunch of stuff. And at that point I'm like tired. I don't want to get into anything. So hopefully this weekend will start. I got to get into Monster Hunter, because I want to play it. I hear great things. I want to play it, Kingdom Come.
It has its issues. It is unfortunately particularly ugly at certain points. It's really good looking at others. Yeah. But it is quite ugly looking at certain ones. But
and then
it's fun. I enjoy it. I mean, as expected, the monster designs are pretty much great for the most part. There's one that I particularly like. It's called like the Balina or something like that. It's basically like this spider, except it's actually, if you watch any videos, you've probably seen it, because they did show it before release. It's what do you call it, the abdomen or whatever. It actually turns into what looks like a giant like rose. But it makes this weird like squeaking sound. It's a really cool monster though. I think it's awesome.
Nice. And then so and next week is like huge. There's like 3 releases I want. I'm not going to get all 3 because I haven't even finished other games. But like we got 8. Is it Atelier? Altlier?
Atelier.
Atelier Yuma.
Yeah. It's getting pretty good reviews too.
It is, yeah.
The Noisy Pixel actually was a little bit lower than most other people. They're usually a
really?
little bit higher. Man, I mean, they still gave it a pretty good review. I think they gave it an 8 or an 8.5. I forget which.
Yeah,
But
which is pretty honestly good for that.
I will say I watched the review because I to be fair don't know a ton about that series. I've never played them. I bought the first 2 of Rise. I never played them. But
I love the Ryza ones.
I thought Yumiya looked pretty good.
Yep.
And I will say that watching the thing, I'm like, this probably isn't really a game for me. Actually, it's not quite what I thought it was going to be.
I didn't think the Ryza games were going to be for me either, or that's what I got into, and I was like, I found one for like cheap, so I played it, and I was like, oh, this is actually something on paper I wouldn't play, but as I started playing it, I did like it. And then what else is that? Shadows is out next week.
Shadows is out on Thursday, and so
Adam.
What's the? I'm sorry, no. Adam Falls the week after. There is something else next week.
There's something else next week, and I've lost it already.
Keep talking. I'll look it up. I don't know why I'm forgetting it.
I can't remember either. But let's see. What else? Nissa's been playing Wander Stop. I know she's been really after that one, so I'm glad she's enjoying that one. Ellery's rolled credits on the Thaumaturge. I've only played a little bit of that, probably a couple hours, and I definitely liked what I played. I love the setting and everything. And then Ellery's also started Ships at Sea, and that actually looks really kind of cool. It's
it's Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Xenoblade Chronicles, yeah. God damn, it's just too much. And of course, those games are like long games. It's not like
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is like freaking 250 hours long. Yeah.
So it's not like it's like, oh, it's a 15-hour game or something. No, all those games are like over, especially Xenoblade. Just like forget about it.
Yeah,
the first one was like almost 300 hours if you wanted to complete everything.
For me, the week after is way worse. Now, Shadows is the one I'm most excited about of the bunch, but the week after is Atom Fall.
So excited for that.
I've been pronouncing it AI Limit, but I've heard people calling it I Limit. AI Limit sounds less stupid to me, so I'm going to stick with that. First Berserker Kazan is also the following week.
Yep.
And actually, it's not listed here, but there is something small, I think, that comes out that week too. And I'm like, God damn it! Like, March was insane. This is probably the best March in history in terms of releases.
Yeah, it's been this year already has been nuts, and we've said it multiple times. But like, it started out in like 2023 was like, holy shit, this is a really good year in gaming, and then 2024 it's more for RPG.
2024 was an off year, but it had its good releases.
It was still good, but 2025.
But it's because all of this stuff is delays from last year. So 2024 actually should have been maybe even a better year than 2023. Right. It's just a lot of the best stuff was delayed.
And 2025 is just nuts. It's not just for like, RPG fans or whatever. It's literally there's multiple AAA games for every genre. It's just
and then I mean really like April's busy as hell too, and then
May's pretty busy from what I remember.
Yeah, I was about is Doom in May or is Doom in April? I forget. I want to say it's May. Yeah, because I think
Doom is May.
What's it called is in April, South of Midnight. But there's also
a
bunch of other shit in April too. There's not much in May yet, but I'm sure there's a lot.
There's going to be something.
There's going to be something. And then we're getting a rumor now that the Oblivion remake is probably somewhere in
dude, if Oblivion Shadow drops in April, I'm going to lose my shit. Like I'm thinking
June. I'm thinking that's more of a June release.
Yeah. Baldwin, has anyone played or watched Split Fiction? I haven't played it. I know a few people in a couple of Discords have played it that I have.
It's supposed to be amazing.
Really enjoy it, and I think it's sold 1 million or 2 million copies already. I think, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So good for
it. What's her name? Is it Hazelight? Something like that. I mean, they're almost the de facto co-op studio at this point. So
yep. I don't know if it's. I mean, maybe if I played a co-op with somebody for me, but usually those like buddy type games.
There's someone behind you who I think would play it with you.
No, she wouldn't do nothing.
She wouldn't.
You wouldn't play. What game? You don't know what I'm talking about. Get out of here. You were gonna play it with your friend, and not me.
Oh man.
Whatever.
I'm that friend. She was gonna play it with me.
Uh, yeah. Well, okay. I have a podcast to do. Yeah. So now that my daughter has the TV, as you can tell by like a nuclear disco. Hey, why don't you hold up your little blanket for everybody to see? No, the person. I don't think Krista's in here.
I don't think Krista or Nicole are in there, but
you want me to hold it up for you? All right. So we'll take a little break from our sponsors here. Got a little G Dragon. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Obviously, she did not hear me trash talking the K-pop before.
Oh,
she seemed surprised at my reaction.
Look at that G Dragon. What am I gonna show? What bottom with red hair? That's not the best one. Oh my god! Take your blanket away.
Korea was a mistake.
Yeah, back to like next week. Is it next or the week after for Atom Fall? Super excited for Atom Fall.
Well, 27th, but I got what you call it, like the last edition or whatever, so I get it on the 24th.
Oh, okay.
I get like that Monday or whatever. So yeah, nice. I'll have a whopping like 2.5 days to play Shadows before Atom Fall then comes out. So
yep. Yeah, I'm super because I love Rebellion anyways.
Except for the last 2 Sniper Elites, unfortunately.
I haven't played the last one.
Well, if you played 5, you played the last one.
Yeah,
it's the exact same thing.
It did look like it wasn't anything new, which kind of upset me. But clearly, they were really working on Atom Fall, so super
also, I was reading apparently the Sniper Elite 5 and Resistance were actually made by like their B team. Like
I think I heard that too.
Yeah, so that explains why they're not nearly as good as the other ones. But
yeah, those games are god.
Sniper Elite 4 is one of the best third-person shooters ever made.
So
that game's amazing. But 5 was such a massive step backwards, and actually, I don't think I ever talked about this, but I was prepared for Resistance to be basically what it was. But I think a major mistake that they made was actually making a standalone game, and I don't mean that in terms of money. Like if they wanted to charge $50 as an expansion for 5, that would have been fine. There's enough there to do it. But it would have been better to have that in Sniper Elite 5 because then you would have all of Sniper Elite 5's weaponry as well as these new weapons to use in Sniper Elite 5. And instead it just kind of like separates it off, and it's like this would have been better just as a huge like expansion within the game. You know what I mean? Like even no matter what you charge, if you charge full price or whatever, just within the game as opposed to being a separate release, you would have probably improved both games that way. But they did announce today that that the first piece of I assume paid content, they didn't actually specify, but is the Carl Fairborn armory or whatever. So whatever that means, you'll get all of his weapons. I doubt it. That'd be an awful lot of weapons to transfer over because I think there's only like 1 or 2. Like the KAR-98 is like the only weapon that's shared between 5 and Resistance. No, I'm sorry, that's not true. There's like an Italian submachine gun as well, plus whatever the handguns are. But in terms of the sniper rifles and the submachine guns, they're almost all completely different.
Yeah, so Atom Fall, I think, there's just too many games. Oh, like we were talking about Oblivion. Like, I want Oblivion. I love
Oblivion.
Now.
So
I don't want it right now.
Kevin and Sam were talking about it on Project X Talk, and I think it was Kevin that said it. He's definitely right. He's like, at this point, just release it at the end of the year because it's too busy right now. Microsoft themselves have things coming out, so it's like don't bury the stuff. Like release it at the end of the year. Plus, as we've discussed ad nauseum at this point, I mean, again, I'm excited because I love Oblivion, and I'm excited to see how they've improved it.
Oh yeah.
The reality is, it is going to pale in comparison to Kingdom Come because I mean it's a much older game, obviously, and they're not. It's not like it's a. My understanding from what the rumors are, it's not a full remake. Like they've redone things and they've imported it into Unreal Engine 5, so it'll have better shadows and stuff like that. But nonetheless, there's going to be comparisons, and rightly so. And being as that it's a 20 or 18-year-old game, something like that. It's obviously
it's old.
it's going to badly compare.
Yeah.
So you're better off separating it from Kingdom Come
Yeah.
so that
It'll
people
be
play it and then
it
not,
it'll be interesting if it is just like a straight port. I've heard, like you said, rumors that they're upgrading certain mechanics and stuff, but
yeah, I heard the stealth and the archery were supposed to be better. And
but like the
what that
combat and
means, I
stuff
don't know,
is,
but yeah, it's
yeah,
still going to be
we'll
it's still
see.
going to be floaty. It's still going to like
Yeah.
have zero impact to it. So
Right. It's gonna
I
be
don't know how you could
interesting.
just, aside from rebuilding it from the ground up, which again they're not doing from the sounds of things. I don't know how you
Yeah.
can fix that with it. So the reality is
Yeah.
that's how it's going to feel. And so
Yep.
you need to separate that from Kingdom Come, which does have that like heavy clashing feel, because it's going to
Yeah.
feel 10 times worse just because that's so fresh in everybody's minds. So
Yep.
even though I don't like the game, what's it called doesn't have nearly as floaty of a feel either.
Avowed.
Avowed, yes, thank you.
Yep.
It actually has a feeling of like impact and stuff like that.
It does, yeah.
So,
It does.
so truthfully, the
It does
combat in
really
this
well with
will
that.
feel like way, way, way worse because you'll have all of these
Yeah.
things directly you're comparing it to because they came out in such close proximity.
It's also one of those things I'm wondering, like, I loved Oblivion. Oblivion was one of those games where you come out of the sewer,
generational game.
Yeah, where you saw the graphics on the 360 and I was just blown away, completely blown away. So I'm wondering if
it changed open worlds because it made it that things weren't just people walking along or actually like Avowed standing still or just walking along a dedicated. They actually went about a schedule, and like that, that obviously was implemented then, and I mean Red Dead and all that stuff. So it really did, it changed the open world genre
for sure,
and for the better.
Yeah, so I'm excited for it. Excited to see some changes, but hopefully the nostalgia blinders aren't making me too excited for it, type of thing. But
also,
I think
I just want to throw this out there.
Yeah,
Oblivion main theme is 1,000 times better than the Skyrim main theme, and anybody disagrees.
Yeah,
anybody disagrees is wrong. I'll tell you that right now.
No, I'm with you on that one.
Oblivion's main theme is so like when I heard Nicole load up ESO, it does play it.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, that is a banging ass.
So yeah,
it is good. So good.
It's good. But yeah, just bad time. I like you said, just look at the release calendar of stuff and be like, okay, not much is going on. Put it there because
even if you do, I could see summer, but you cannot do April or May. That's
no, it's too.
And I think November is your best bet. But the reality is, if you want to get it out earlier, you got to do June or July probably, because August is pretty busy now too. And obviously,
and who knows what's going to be announced during like Summer Game Fest and other things going on. It's just like, oh, yeah.
Well, Morrowind is way older too. So
Morrowind's old. I remember
Morrowind actually pound for pound is actually probably the better game, but its combat is horrendous. It was bad at the time, let alone now.
I played that.
It's so old, but Morrowind's from what, like 2004?
Yeah, I played it on the original Xbox.
Oh, you played the bad version too. The PC version was so much better.
Yeah, but it was rough.
See, now, so actually, since we're going down this route, this is something I want to talk about. Is a lot of people do seem to believe that I'm a complete Bethesda hater. Although, oddly enough, I did like Starfield, whereas a lot of people did not. No, because you just heard how well I talked about Morrowind and Oblivion. No, you know what it is? I played those two games, and I know what that studio is capable of, and they are capable of great things.
Yeah.
And then they released Skyrim, which people like to their own, but that's a completely lazy ass sequel. And then they released Fallout 4, which could not have been a more lazy sequel. Fallout 4 was so half-assed. And it's like, this is why I bitch about them, because that studio is capable of truly great things.
Yeah.
And they phoned it in for a long time now.
I liked Fallout 4, but I didn't like how I knew the story immediately. That like I knew what you knew the ending as soon as like within the first half hour.
It's the second you got out of the cryo tube or whatever it was. Yeah.
The stupid outpost thing and constantly being annoyed by like, hey, we're under attack. It was
like at least Skyrim's meme of the dude with the arrow, and then he wasn't like gameplay related. It was just a repeating thing. Like with Fallout, it was actually a gameplay meme, which just shows how bad it was.
Yeah.
One thing I will say though, I'll give them credit about one thing. I did actually like was it called the Commonwealth? That actually was a really cool setting.
Yep.
Even if everything around it sucked because the graphics were unacceptably piss poor. The story sucked. The combat wasn't good, but the actual Commonwealth was actually probably the best of the
Commonwealth was pretty solid.
it's probably the best of the Fallout settings from the Bethesda ones.
Did you like Fallout 3 at all?
I love 3 actually.
3,
I didn't play a lot of New Vegas because I was pretty much over it by then. I mean, I acknowledge that New Vegas was probably the better of the 2 games, but I just didn't. I was pretty much done with it by that point. But
and Fallout New Vegas is widely known as like it's a super good and stuff, and it is. But a lot of people don't remember that game.
That launch game was a disaster. That game was a disaster.
Terrible.
The game was, a lot of people was borderline unplayable for 6 months.
Yeah. And thankfully it got turned around, but yeah, it
took a while. But yeah, it was like, as much as Bethesda is known as the buggy studio, Obsidian have been way worse than a lot of, and that one in particular might have been the worst of the bunch.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember, like, when you're building your character or whatever and the person's talking to you, that bug that a lot of people had where like the head spun around in a circle or whatever. Do you remember that? like it just spun like end over end.
I do.
And a lot of people had that. It wasn't like it wasn't like that was some weird one-off bug. Like, that was a pretty common one. I remember a lot of people having that issue.
It's good.
And it looks so terrible.
God. Let's see. Before I forget about it too, we got that new Silent Hill F trailer the other day, and what are your thoughts on that? Because
well, first of all, so on replay or on VOD rather, because I actually forgot about it. I did watch the full thing, and I will say, outside of the 3.5 minutes of the actual trailer, I want all that time back, because that was a lot of time for nothing. But not kind of the trailer. The trailer itself was one thing. I'm talking about like where they were talking. I thought it would be like when they did the transmission for the 2 remake, where they kind of like were like, okay, here's how we're improving, combat or whatever. They didn't. They basically were like talking about like what their philosophy was all the time. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, tell me that closer to release.
Right. Yeah.
So it's interesting because it is the first Silent Hill game that does not take place in Silent Hill. It is in Japan.
1960s. Yeah, I watched the trailer, and I mean, a lot of people know that both of us are huge Silent Hill fans, and
1 through 3 for me. But
yeah. I watched the trailer, and I gotta say, it's beautiful. I love the trailer.
I am merely cautiously optimistic, because
and that's the thing. Like,
I am concerned about it. I won't lie.
I'm like, I watched the trailer, and the whole time I'm watching it, literally half my body was like, yes, this looks amazing. I love the way it's going, and my other half was like, Konami.
They're gonna have to prove to me that this beautiful horror or whatever it is they're calling it works, because I don't think it's going to.
Yeah,
I don't like the idea of this like floral version of the other world. I want it to be rusty and bloody and gross like it is in 1, 2, and 3. Like, that is, because to me, like that industrial setting is like terrifying. So it is terrifying. Yeah. And like, it's genuinely like what you would think of in like your nightmares. This, and I could be wrong. Maybe when it comes out, it's totally different ballgame, right? I'm working off of very early impressions. I'm just like, I don't see this being this method of it being particularly scary, but I'm open to be surprised. They did get some decent names involved. The longtime composer does the music for the Fog World, as they called it, which is the non-Otherworld. I don't know who and then they got some very famous Japanese horror writer to write the script for the game. That like Ryujuki 07 or something like that was his name. I guess he wrote some very, very, very famous Japanese horror. Something. I don't know if it's a movie or a novella or what. I have no idea. But they kept referencing it, so we'll see. I mean, you do have some good names behind it.
I'm excited, but it's also like, I know we've got Silent Hill 2, but that was remaster or remake from another team, and so I think this is the first game from Konami, like straight from Konami, for a long time. So it's like
the last one was probably Downfall, the one that was in the rain.
Yeah,
that one was bad.
Yeah, and that's like Konami hasn't put out a game by themselves for ages. So I hope
Well,
it's
to be
good
fair,
because
they haven't put out games in a lot of series
right.
in a long time. So, but
Yeah.
it is good to see them making a return because the gaming industry is better with Konami in it.
Yeah.
But
Ellery
yes,
says, do we know if
Ellery,
we
you
can
can.
jump in?
It's not tied into the
It's
other games at all.
yeah, and
But
it's set in the
I cannot
60s, which
emphasize enough. If
is
you want to play Silent Hill, screw this one for now. Play 2
yeah.
because two is the
Yeah,
best in the series.
yeah, and 2 is not connected to 1.
Right.
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 Yeah.
What,
So 2 is like its
what,
own
what,
standalone. So if you can get
1 and 3
2,
are connected. I guess 2
yeah.
and 4 are kind of connected, but not a lot.
Mm,
But 2 is really pretty standalone.
yeah. So 2 you
And
can
then most of the other
definitely get
ones
into.
are connected to 1 and 3 in certain ways. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
you can play 2 without having played the other ones.
Yep. Yep. You'll there's like just random things you would pick up on, but not like character
Yeah,
wise.
they said
Like
there will
that.
be small Easter eggs. So
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it's in some way, shape, or form going to connect into a larger
It's got to be
universe.
somehow
But the
connected.
reality is, most of them are not connected. Like, most of them
Right.
are separate stories that just have to do with the town. But this one doesn't have to do with the town. So
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Because like you said, it's set in Japan, 1960s. So it's not even.
my guess is it's going to in some way be the very, very like progenitor of how Silent Hill comes to be, or something like that.
Right. Right. So it'll be interesting for sure. I hope it. I mean, of course, I hope it's good because it's
Oh,
Silent Hill and
absolutely,
stuff. But I
absolutely.
hope it's good because I want. Konami has so many good IPs that are just gone and they're just sitting there, and it's like, come on, bring these back. You like Jesus.
Well, they
So
have
many
3
good.
in particular, and thankfully 2 are active, being Metal Gear and Silent Hill.
Yep. And then we got
But
what
but
Castlevania.
Castlevania is pretty dormant. And actually, I would argue you could say Zone of the Enders, but I
Yep.
don't think you could make a good Zone of the Enders game without Kojima. I actually am of the mind that you
Yeah.
probably could make a decent Metal Gear game without him, simply because he did tell the story at this point.
Yep.
But I don't think you could make a good Zone of the Enders game without him, because he actually did have his fingers all over that, which made it why it was actually a different and unique and good mech game.
Yep. I'm trying to think what else Konami has.
Well, I don't know about Konami, but we haven't talked about Death Stranding 2, and that's definitely worth mentioning, because that looks
need to
freaking sweet.
Of course there's been several trailers for Death Stranding 2 out, but this last one was like 10 minutes or so, and I'm definitely
that's about standard for Kojima. That's usually about somewhere on there.
And the first like teaser trailer, I was like, okay, this has me more interested than the first one did, and now I'm like,
this
the
new
second
trailer
looks
blew
amazing.
that first one away. Yeah, this
It
new
looks
trailer blew that
amazing.
first one away.
So now I'm like, well, I got to go back and play the first Death Stranding now. So
Death Stranding, I'll be honest with you, Ellery, I think you would love Death Stranding, because
yeah,
the
you know
best
what?
way I can
Probably.
describe it, I mean, it's got the weird ass story setting and all that stuff, but being is that you kind of like SnowRunner and expeditions and all that, this, believe it or not, has that in like an on foot capacity. Like the general gaming or the general moment to moment gameplay of it is technically making deliveries. And it has more to it than that. Like, anybody that calls it a walking simulator has never played more than 5 minutes of the game, because there's really a lot more to the game than that. But actually, that's not true. Technically, this is the actual true walking simulator, as opposed to the other ones that get that name. But there is a lot more involved to it. Like, there actually is. There's a lot of game there. But this looks like it really ratchets up to like 100.
Yeah,
And
it looks
like it brings a lot of actual Metal Gear, like design and stuff like that into it. And I mean, I like Death Stranding. It's a genuinely unique game. It is not something for everybody, but it is a good game. I always tell people, if you're going to try it, don't judge it until you've gotten to chapter 3, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually not. And you got to, when you start playing it, you have to put aside the impulse to be a completionist, because you'll never get anywhere, because there's really an unending amount of stuff that you'll find to do.
Right.
But you got to push it. When you get to chapter 3 is when the game really opens up, because that's when you start seeing all the stuff that the community is building. So you'll start seeing all the different, I mean, technically you'll see ladders and stuff like that before that, but that's when you start seeing like the road system and stuff like that. And the game really does change with that. And it's genuinely unique. I mean, it's weird. It's weird as hell, but it's cool. I really do dig it. I actually never finished it. I do need to get back to it, but I'm very, very hyped for 2. I think 2 looks awesome.
And that's it's coming out
June,
right? Yeah.
Yep, 3 months away.
I don't know where I'm gonna fit in. Fucking the first one. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the first one's long as hell too. That's it is a long game. Even if you're not like a completionist about it, it's a long game. Like I want to say, if you mainline it, it's probably still somewhere around 40 hours.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, it's long.
Oh vey.
And there's there is a lot of side content in it too. I think I heard platinuming it can be 100, 150 hours to do, which I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother with that, but
no. Yeah, so I definitely want to play it, and I think it is on the PS Plus, and it's like almost always
still
on
actually.
sale.
I mean, I see Ellery said that's when they played it.
I'm pretty sure it's still on there.
Is it like on the extra tier or what?
I think it's on like the first tier. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What
I think so.
If it's on the first tier, it would have had to be a game of the month then.
Oh, maybe
because Essential doesn't have like a catalog. At least I don't think it does. Doesn't have a catalog, but you get your free games of the month, and maybe it was one of those. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's always on sale on PC as well. It's like always on sale.
Make sure you get the director's edition though, or director's cut, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a lot of extra stuff in it that's actually pretty good.
I'm actually I just went to isthereanydeal.com for PC prices, and it's like currently now like $15, 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always on sale for cheap.
Take a look at the price of the PS5 version though, because I mean I'm not telling you what to do, but I actually think you might like playing that on there. That's kind of a more controller focused game.
Yeah, I'll probably will play it on console.
If the console version is $60 and the PC version is $15, then obviously the PC version.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's kind of that. Yeah, that trailer was good. As in all Kojima trailers.
I'll say, regardless if you like his game or not, he is the best in the industry at making a trailer. Like he.
Oh yeah,
because he's such like a movie obsessed guy and stuff like that. And apparently he cuts all his own, like he does all the editing to the trailers himself, which is why they're so specifically curated.
But someone needs to let him make like a movie or a TV series or something.
I think he was making one, and he just or he was talking about it maybe, and people were like, "No, dude, make games." Like there's a million people out there making movies. Make games. Yeah. You're good at what you do with games. Like make your movies into games. Don't let Konami tell you to switch them to Kiefer Sutherland and take out all the story. Make your damn game, and if you want to have 600 hours of cutscenes in it, then by God, we're there to watch them. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
I'm still upset to this day that we did not get PT by him.
I believe it or not, I still have never played that.
I
have it installed on my external drive, so technically I could.
Oh, do you?
I never played it. I never once played
it. It's so good, and it's literally it's a demo of you walking down a goddamn hallway, a horror, and it's amazing.
It got to be such a zeitgeist. I don't know. I was just like, well, now it's too mainstream, and I mean, I know that sounds stupid, but I was like, I don't want to get involved with it now. But then also, I found out like when it came out pretty quick that it was like the trailer or the teaser rather for Silent Hills or whatever it was supposed to be called at the time. I'm like, well, I'd rather just play that. Yeah. And then obviously we know what happened, and it blew up. And I'm like, well, now being as that's not coming anyway, why would I bother playing this? And it's a stupid mentality. I acknowledge, but I've never actually played it.
And now that we're talking about it, it's like the demo, the short demo that it was so good that it literally spawned games based on like
didn't they make Layers of Fear specifically because designed it after that? Yeah, that's what I thought.
And there was a few others that, of course, like Steam indie games or whatever. But I'm so mad. God damn Konami. Oh boy. Anyways,
although to give them the credit, it does seem like they've realized they've made some mistakes. And again, like I said earlier, the gaming industry is better with Konami in it. So
for sure.
Let's hope. Konami is truly, if you look back in the early Nintendo and PS1 days, like they're one of the most legendary publishers there is. So it's like the gaming industry was way worse without them here. So we want them back. We want them making their games. I mean, how many games do they have that are widely considered like in the top 50 games of all time?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You got 3 Silent Hills that all can fit in that. You got how many Metal Gears? You got
Castlevania Silent.
you got at the
Several
very least you got
Castlevanias.
Symphony of the Night, but the reality is you've got all of the DS ones too,
Yeah,
which were amazing.
The Suikoden RPGs.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
Yep.
It triggers me the way that you pronounce that, but you're right. You
But
say
it's
Suikoden.
Suikoden.
It's Suikoden.
Suikoden.
Yes.
Contra. Contra's by them.
I'm not a Contra fan, but you're right.
I'm not a
you're
huge
right.
Contra
That's
fan,
that's
but
one of the legendary series. But I mean, that's just off the top of our heads. Like that's their big ones. They have other ones.
Yeah, this Bomberman.
Yeah, Bomberman sucks. Okay.
I loved Vandal Hearts, which was a tactical RPG. I know you're not a fan of those, but I love Vandal Hearts. Yeah, there's just they made Silent Scope, which as
amazing in the arcade, just not so good in
the
console.
arcade. Kid me in the arcade seeing a sniper in a game case. I was like,
and it was a cool idea. Like the fact that the scope actually had the zoomed in screen on it was awesome. Like that was such a cool idea.
But yeah,
then unfortunately you played it on PS2 and it was kind of stupid. But
get back in the game, Konami. Let's see what else happened. Like I said, I've been busy as hell, so I've been keeping up with some news and stuff. Apparently, there's Pisser's coming out with some more new.
Pisser is turning into FSR4 next year.
Yeah, okay. Which is good.
I actually had a long debate with Alex in a private chat. I relented. I relented because I was like, okay. When I watched the video that Digital Foundry did, I'm like, they seem to think this is a good thing. They know a lot more than me, so I'm
right.
But to be clear, here's what my argument was, and I think I had fair basis of argument. Just I acknowledged that again, when they think it's better, clearly I'm wrong. My argument was, you switch to FSR4, you start at a better base level than what Pisser is now, right? However, since it's not specifically the Pisser and thus built for the Pro or PS6 or whatever it ends up being, you're capping your ceiling. You have a higher floor but a lower ceiling, and that was my argument. Clearly wrong, but that was my argument. And in my head, it made sense. Alex is like, I think you're insane. Like, where do you get this from? But then I did watch this I don't know 10-minute like discussion where they might as well have been talking about space age aeronautics because I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Like, they were getting the real nitty gritty, but they Alex and Ollie, who were the ones primarily talking about it, both pretty much agreed that this was going to be a good thing for the future of PlayStation's machine learning. And I'm like, okay, like that's enough to tell me I'm wrong.
Right. I'm down.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I can see my argument.
So yeah, that's coming, which is good. What else did trying to think of anything really comes up to my head, but I really don't remember seeing anything that was
one small thing we can talk about, because it's interesting how the discussion has changed about this all of a sudden. But so it's been revealed that when it releases, I don't know if they've released the date, but it's been heavily leaked, I guess, when Forza Horizon 5 releases on PlayStation, that you will require logging into an Xbox account to play it. It's funny. It's funny because I remember a few months ago how PC players were a bunch of crybabies because they didn't want to have to sign in to play Helldivers.
Yep.
All of a sudden, that whole narrative is gone. Did you notice that?
Yep.
That whole narrative has changed. And you know what? Now you see why people didn't want to do that shit, because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because this basically makes it that there is now an expiration date on Forza Horizon 5 on PS5. Whether you buy it or not, it makes it that eventually you won't be able to play it anymore.
Yeah.
No matter if you keep it installed and have a perfectly
if you don't
PS5
have
or not, there will be a day where you cannot play this game anymore. That's bullshit. That is bullshit, and that's exactly why people were so against it with the PlayStation games on PC.
Yep. I did see that, and I was waiting to hear like the backlash and people going crazy.
It was there.
I was like,
it was there. I
didn't hear much of it, but like I said, I've been fucking busy.
But that said, the backlash was from, again, all the people who were telling everyone who was pissed off about it on PC that they were a bunch of crybabies. And it's like when the shoe's on the other foot, suddenly you realize why it's a big deal. Because you opened your freaking mouth before without having any idea what you were talking about. And now that you understand the problem, all of a sudden you realize why it's a big issue.
Right. Yep. I did see that, and it's crazy that playing an Xbox IP, needing an account on a PlayStation. Like if you had told me that 6 years ago, I would have been like,
what amazes me is that both Sony and Microsoft do this. You know what the clear answer is? Like, I understand why they want you to do it because they want data. The clear answer is you make it that you have the option, but it's not required. And if you do it, then fine, we'll give you a bunch of free cards or something like that.
Right.
That's all you have to do, and people are going to do it.
Like,
but you don't require it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, and then actually, this is not dealing with Forza, but like, actually, how that's a bad example. Let's say God of War, right? Or Ragnarok, specifically Ragnarok. When it came to be Ragnarok, a point why people were so pissed about this that was completely ignored by the morons talking about it. That makes it that now you can't play it on a Steam Deck. Now, I have no idea if it would run on a Steam Deck anyway. Technically, you could, but it's a whole lot of workaround because it's not run. That PlayStation app or whatever, it's not going to be running natively in the Steam OS. So you're going to have to see if somebody releases a version of it that uses whatever the Steam's executable package is called. And the reality is probably nobody's going to do that because you run a pretty big risk there if you get your PlayStation account locked. If for some reason it flags it as you cheating or something like that. It's like this is a problem. And for some reason, all these morons kept going, oh, no, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And it's like, yeah, it is a big deal. It is a big deal.
Actually, yeah.
That used to, oh my God, when I would hear that on the different podcasts I was doing, that would make steam come out here every time they would say it. I'm like, and every one of them is someone that doesn't play on PC, so it's like you have no idea what you're talking about. You have zero idea what you're talking about, and you were just flapping your jaws. And I'm like, well, now you see it, and now you understand why it's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, because excuse me. I could be completely friggin' wrong. Isn't there some Xbox games on Switch that you can play?
I don't think they ever released Sea of Thieves on Switch, but Pentiment's on there, and you don't need an Xbox account for that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, granted, Pentiment's single player only, I guess. But
Sea of Thieves, well, yeah, and I mean, Sea of Thieves, I don't have an issue with it because that's a multiplayer only game, so there's a difference there, right? It's the single player stuff, which even though Forza Horizon 5 is obviously built with being online in mind. That said, if you ever played it, you know that playing it online is the worst way to play it because the AI is completely broken if you try to play it online. If you do it online, Pentiment, I don't think you need it. The single player stuff, you should be able to play it without having to have this. It's stupid.
Yep.
There's no good reason for that.
You should be able to. Yeah.
Again, give you the option to give you free liveries, free cars, whatever. Yeah. But making it like, okay, you're skipping out, that's fine. You're not going to get these Ferraris or whatever, but so be it. You can still play it. You just can't play it online.
Right.
That would be fine. Nobody would have an issue with that. Well, somebody would, but someone's always going to piss off about something.
But
to require you to have it to play it at all is basically saying, here's your expiration date. You kind of, enjoy the game until now, but then you can't anymore.
Yeah, and it might be years down the road or whatever, but at some point, it's not going to happen.
Sure. Right.
Yep. At some point.
And it's obviously the discussion comes up about when they delist something, but it's like that's not quite the same thing here because this is something you already bought.
Right.
And it's eventually making you can't even play it even though you bought it, which obviously comes back to the long-standing, what do you call it? Conservation discussion. But
yeah, I was just looking up at news real quick. Apparently, Star Wars Hunter is going offline in October. Which was
that's a mobile game, right?
I think it was on Switch too, but it was also one of those live service games. I played it a little. It was okay for a mobile game, but just it goes to show that it's a lot. Live service games are like Jesus. And then Spectre Divide was also shut down.
Yeah.
After not even been out for
2 weeks. I had mentioned it on XCast last night. Someone made a good point. Technically, that and Concord are not the shortest lived. What did they say it was? Oh, that bullshit game. Was it Days Later? Or
oh my God!
It technically didn't even get out of early access.
Yeah, with the devs just took.
Well, where it was a complete scam game.
Ran.
Yeah, it was a complete scam game. Whatever
oh my God!
Because that was only available for 3 days before they shut it down.
Yeah, and that was gone. Yeah. And then the devs tried to come back a year after.
With another game, yes.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we learned from our lessons. And I'm like, what? You literally stole millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yep.
Oh God.
Actually,
Jesus.
something to bring up, just a small thing. We don't have to talk about it too long, but the Steam Spring Sale, is it Spring Sale is currently going on?
I think it's the spring sale. Yeah.
Praise Lord Gaben.
Praise your
Uh,
wallets.
I implore everyone to go into the Discord and watch the
Oh,
timeless summer sale 2015 JoJo's Bizarre Adventure video that I shared in there.
have you seen the
every time a Steam sale comes around, I am morally obligated to post that video because
have you seen the
it's still funny.
the Lord of the Rings one where they're attacking Helm's Deep and like
No,
the arrows are percentages going off
No,
and stuff?
I did not see that. That's
It is
pretty funny.
it is gold. It is gold.
That's funny. Ellery, to answer your question, I haven't really looked, but I actually did buy one thing already. Yesterday, I said there was something else small coming out this month. I actually am somewhat interested in this. Is all tied together. You'll understand why I cut myself off. I believe it's not next week. I think it's the one after. The second, what the hell is it called? Gal Guardians game comes out, which is like part of that weird ass Gal Gun series. Except these are Metroidvania. So I'm like, okay, well, that word is an immediate like sonar to me. But I was like, oh, that actually was kind of cool. And I didn't realize they made a first one. It's called like the Demon Purge. I actually added it to my wish list yesterday, and then like 2 hours later is when Silken had posted about the sale, and I was like, I wonder if that's on sale, and it is. It's 50% off, so I bought it, $12.50.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. You know what we're gonna do though.
And I actually think that there's something I have. I think I might buy Nico Dorico, that Crash Bandicoot clone. Because it's
I was thinking about that myself.
Like
I was looking at my wish
off.
list. Yeah. Because I want you to see this, and everybody should watch it anyways.
Is it going to be weird Steam hentai games?
No. Can I
also, by the way, your camera is totally frozen.
Oh no. Probably because I opened this up.
And you look truly hilarious because you're like.
It does look pretty hilarious. Hold on, let me back out and come back in again. What the hell? What if I do that?
I was gonna save that.
And then I do this. Nope. I'm gonna have to like back out. I'll be right back.
All right.
Hold on.
So as I was saying, I'm thinking about buying Nico. I think I'll look over that. Nico Derico, Nicoderiko. It looks a lot like Crash Bandicoot, actually, and it's got good reviews. I saw it at, was it Summer Game Fest? It was one of the Keeley shows last year. I was like, oh, that looks fun. And Kevin played through it, and actually he said he liked it a lot. He's a platformer guy, so I told him about it, and he went and checked it out. So I might pick that up. Clint can move again. That's sad.
I'm back. I'm gonna try it one more time and see if I freeze. But where was it? Where is it?
Is it the Helm's Deep video?
Yeah. Because it's so good. All right, so if we do this, pause, do that. Share screen. It probably won't. Let's see. Am I frozen?
Nope. No, you're working, unfortunately.
All right. So we do that.
I may have seen this actually. This does look familiar now that I see this.
There's so many of the Steam sales, but I think this is my favorite one.
Because at the end, doesn't the guy blow up the wall with like a 99% sale or something weird like that?
Oh, back when there was like dailies too. Do you remember?
Oh man, yeah, like the lightning sales where you get them for like 99% off.
Yeah, awesome. So good. Oh man, I love it.
This kind of thing is what the internet was created for.
Exactly. Now I want to watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so do I.
Just gold. So good.
I like how
I remember waiting
dollars at it.
Yep. I remember waiting on the flash sales to like the end of the Steam sale just in case that your game would go on sale. I do miss those. Yeah, the 99.
Yeah, 99%. There it is. And when he blows up the wall, doesn't a whole bunch of money like fly away?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if Krista's seen this one or not, but she'd be dying if she hasn't.
It's
She's
so
a
good.
huge Lord of the Rings nerd, and she cracks up every time I share the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure one.
The JoJo's is really good.
Oh, it's amazing. Like,
but there's some good ones out there.
When you first watch it, it's funny. When you watch it again and you notice like the little moments, it gets funnier. Like when you notice that like what he writes is a receipt when he throws it at the guy and stuff like that. And then when the guy gets thrown through the wall and all the money comes out of his wallet.
I haven't bought anything off the Steam sale yet, and I don't know if I will, just for the fact that I just have so much to play.
There's no doubt that's playing into it for me too. Plus, it's not like it used to be where they again had 90% off sales. You don't really have much of that anymore. Usually, you cap at like 50.
Yep.
The Red Dead Redemption 2 for 75% off is a hell of a good price. $15 for one of the best games ever made.
Yeah,
and I lied. There's a 90% off right there for Heavy Rain, but it's nothing new. Obviously, it's an older game.
Yeah. I was looking at my. Do I have anything on my? I mean, I'm sure stuff on my wish list is for sale, but Batora. I don't know if I'm saying that. Batora Lost Haven is like a action RPG. That's for only $5. That looks pretty good. Front Mission, the first remake is $11.89. I might actually grab that maybe.
Here's something. This looks pretty good.
I really want to try Last Train Home, and that's $20. So I might get that, like a strategy.
This looks pretty good. Whatever.
Oh Jesus, I have that
50% off.
I might buy it again for $7.49. Buy it twice.
That game looks pretty darn good. I can fly. He can jump off the wall.
I don't know. It
looks like a little bug guy.
Looks kind of like an old game.
I'll bet you really smart people would play this game.
Oy vey. Let's see. What? Yeah, they've got.
I hope the man silking it was watching when I did that. Because
I'm sure he'll.
I think he'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Ellery, if you're still in here, Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous is only $3.99, and that's like an isometric RPG, and that is a deep.
That's a very good one, apparently. Yeah.
It's very good, and that's only $3.99. That's 90% off. That's a bargain bin.
It isn't that one's also in some way affiliated with The Witcher, isn't it? Or am I thinking something different?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one.
I thought it was. I'll tell you. Hold on. I actually bought it, so you'd think I'd know, but I think I bought it and never installed it.
Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, and there should be if you like that one, there's.
Sorry, I'm thinking the first one, Kingmaker, but I still thought it was affiliated with Witcher somehow, or maybe
it's the same. It's the same area type of thing. So, one of my friends is like huge into isometric games. And he has in Pathmaker 931 hours.
Jeez.
I think
that is the thing about those classic type. I mean, technically Baldur's Gate 3 does too as well, but they have like a never-ending amount of replayability to them.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. So yeah, definitely Pathfinder for $3.99, absolute bargain. And it's good. It's really good. What else we got on here? Star Wars Skywalker Saga Lego for $10. That's pretty good.
I enjoyed that game.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm not a big Lego games guy, but I did like the Skywalker Saga.
Yeah.
Even though the Skywalker Saga of movies is absolute horseshit, I did actually enjoy that game.
Star Wars Outlaws for $34.35.
That's not a bad deal. Although they lied there. That annoys me. When they said you could get that on Steam and not have to have was it Uplay? That's bullshit. You have to have Uplay to play it.
Oh, do you?
Remember they kept saying that? They kept saying you could buy it on Steam and don't need it.
Oh.
Or I'm sorry. They said it was changing to that when that big update came out in November. You still need it. I don't know what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah, because I was looking at Shadows because I'm pretty sure Assassin's Creed games, I like playing them on console. I like
Same
open
here,
world
yeah.
games on console. But I was just looking at it on Steam, and you do have to have Ubisoft to have it. So I was like, I mean, it's not the end of the world, obviously, but it's just like one more step. A Split Fiction is $50. Really? I thought it was cheaper than that.
No, apparently it's a long ass game.
Interesting.
I was listening to something they were talking about today. I think it's like 30 hours long. Like it's surprisingly long.
Oh
for
wow!
what it is. Yeah.
Jeez. Nice. Looks like Ellery bought that game. That's awesome. Steam will be sending me 10 cents in the mail for
for your finder's fee.
my finder's fee.
I'll find something to suggest to everybody here. Well, I already said it, but buy Red Dead Redemption 2 if you haven't played it for $15.
Oh, is it only $15?
It's 75% off. Yeah.
I actually might grab that.
That is genuinely $35 less than that game should be sold at an absolute minimum for.
I actually might get that because I know it's one of the best games ever. I know it is. When I played it, I was obviously in a wrong state of mind or just
Well, just don't expect something fast paced because it's not. It's intentionally slow,
which is fine. I don't know. There was just something where I just could not connect with it, and I don't know why. Because I love westerns. I love.
Hold on, I want to address what Ellery said here. Yeah, you don't get a separate code for it, but you do get when you have the game. I assume it's going to work exactly the way that A Way Out did, which I did have A Way Out. Basically, when you load in the game, you can invite somebody, and they don't have to have the game to join it. But they won't be able to launch the game. You yourself will have to launch the game.
Right. Yeah. Nissa says Wander Stop is $23 on Steam. Yeah, I think that's on there. The like launch sale for 10% or something there. Take advantage of that. I might actually get Red Dead for 15. I might do that.
One more thing to put in front of Hollow Knight, right?
That's right. Got to keep it going. I do want to try this game, Nuclear Nightmare. It's in early access, but it looks kind of like Dead by Daylight, but with the Thing mixed in. It looks kind of cool. Anything that's the Thing related, and I'm fucking obsessed with. I love the Thing.
I can tell you tend to bring that up pretty often these days.
What? Do I?
Well,
the Thing?
Because of the remastered,
the remake,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Man, I was so excited for that.
Remaster.
Yeah, I was so excited for that. Grand Theft Auto 4 for $7.
Here's a decent buy too. It's not the greatest game by any means, but right now RoboCop Rogue City is on sale for 80% off, which is $10. That's actually a pretty fun game.
Is it? Oh shit! It's only $10.
That's that first person.
I'm grabbing that.
Came out.
I'm
grabbing 2 years ago.
Yeah. I've been waiting for a good sale. So
that's a good game for $10. And it genuinely is like RoboCop sounds like I mean, it was a fun movie back in the 80s and all that, but it's like, man, that's such a dead IP. Like you couldn't possibly make anything good out of that, but they actually did. And you really get to walk around and feel like you are him.
Yeah,
it was absolutely smearing the wall with the bad guys.
It is so violent. Who did the Terminator game, which was
the good Terminator game. Yeah.
Yeah. And to be fair, it's not the best game out there, but if you're a fan of Terminator, it's great. It's great. So I actually probably will grab RoboCop for $10 because I've been wanting to play it.
$10 is a good price for that.
Yep. That's a bargain. That's a good shout out right there. That's a good shout out. Terminator Survivors.
It's amazing. The one episode where we could really use Silk and its expertise on the indie.
Yeah, I know, and his indie love.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke's in chat. Good to see you, sir.
Luke,
thanks for
actually, what we're talking about right now pertains to you. We are talking about the Steam Spring Sale. Praise Lord Gaben. And since you are a big Steam Deck guy now, there's a lot of little games on there that would run nice on there. Actually, that was why I specifically bought. I mentioned buying Gal Guardian. I bought it actually specifically to play on my Steam Deck.
Yep.
I figured it'd be a good Steam Deck game.
Yep. A lot of good games. A lot of good games on there. What else we got here? A Chrono Trigger for $374. Bargain.
I mean, it's still technically early access, but 6 Days in Fallujah is on sale for $25. Maybe I might buy that actually because I've been interested in that ever since they revealed how they were going to do the randomized building to building when you do the campaign. I was like, okay, that's actually an awesome idea to make sure that you don't like memorize something and actually like realize how fucked up it was trying to storm the buildings, stuff like that.
Yeah. Plus, I want back the days of the 360 era squad games. Like you had the Ghost Recon,
Brothers in Arms, baby.
Band of Brothers.
Let's go.
Brothers in Arms was
Band of Brothers was a show. You're talking about Brothers in Arms.
Yeah, I meant Brothers in Arms. You had the
Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six. You had Ghost Recon, and then there was the Star Wars Republic Commando, right? Is that it?
You had to hit me right in the sensitive spot. To this day, maybe the most brutal cliffhanger of all gaming history.
Right?
Oh God.
Yeah. Not only
that one still stings that is left on. And then you remember all the goddamn fake leaks of
oh my God,
Commando.
Many
when I heard that, I'm like, yes, I want to be a stormtrooper. And they were all lies.
Yeah.
I should have known. Well, it wasn't Disney at that time, but I should have known they didn't have the balls to let you be a stormtrooper. Oh God, that one still stings. That is the most brutal cliffhanger of all time.
It's
all these years later. Which one was it? Was it Sev is locked in a cocoon or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it was him. It was one of the clones. All these years later, he's still there. We can't get him.
Just hanging out.
I love that game. The Republic Commando was so good.
It's fantastic. Yeah, like, I miss those.
Nobody ever, games. Even if you didn't do that story, why did nobody replicate that? Because that game was awesome. Mm-hmm. It was too short. That was the main problem with it. But it was so good.
Yeah, it was. I could have played that for forever. Bring back squad games. I think we actually mentioned, or I mentioned it in XCP from Luke's Discord community over there. People were talking about Rainbow Six Siege and stuff, and I was like, "Give me a Rainbow Six Vegas remake, please, please."
You know what? I remember thinking that Vegas was going to be bad when it came out, and I played it. I'm like, never mind. I'm like, never mind. This game's awesome.
Vegas was amazing.
2 was a big step backwards, but the first Vegas was amazing. I played so much of that game.
Yeah, I literally that game is the reason I bought your amazing Xbox 360 camera that you used on like Luke's first community podcast show. I bought it for Resident Evil, for Rainbow Six, so I could put my character.
That was 2.
That was 2. It was 2.
You were Logan Culler in the first one, or Logan Culler might be who you were in the second. No, that was who you were in the first one. In the second one, you were Bishop. And Bishop was you yourself. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can scan yourself and put you in the game. I'm like, I'm buying this.
And
I
ran out. So bad, but I did it anyway.
It didn't look anything like me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it looks like me. And I was like, it didn't.
The problem was, I don't know why they thought it was a good idea. Like for 2, why they thought it was a good idea to have you in Vegas in the middle of the day. Like that kind of defeated the whole aesthetic that way. But I love that game. That was such a good game. Oh man!
I still to this day think Casino, the multiplayer map Casino, is one of the best.
Is that the one that was on the casino floor?
Yeah. You could like rappel down. You were shooting, and coins were going everywhere. Oh,
yeah, that was
God. What a game!
My God! I forgot about the rappelling. Oh, the rappelling, and that was so good.
So and good.
You could do it. You could do it upside down and come down with a pistol.
You're like shooting time in it to shoot people.
Oh, that game was
so good. I would throw my wallet at somebody if they would do a remake.
It's
just update the graphics.
Like hearing Rainbow Six Patriots every once in a while hurts, because it's like there were some cool. I mean, obviously it never got very far, but there were some cool ideas in that, because it was supposed to like really branch depending on what you did, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the one screenshot that ever released was your character on like an overpass over some highway, and I'm like, I want that game. And also, we mentioned Ghost Recon. Those 3 Ghost Recon games on the 360, the second one was unfortunately way too short, but Advanced Warfighter and especially Future Warfighter.
Yes.
Oh my God, were they good? I actually consider
good.
Advanced Warfighter, aside from actually it might come out before Oblivion. I can't remember. It was one of the first like must-have 360.
I think it was Advanced Warfighter.
I think it was
one of those games that was just like, holy shit, this is real life. So good. It's never going to get any better.
And then unfortunately, two was like 1/3 the length. But then years later, they came out with Future Warfighter, which leading up to it, I'm like, that looks bad, and I didn't like the super futuristic thing. Plus, you weren't actually the squad commander. You set up the sync shots,
Right.
but you weren't actually the commander like you were in Advanced Warfighter.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. And it came out, and I'm like, yeah, never mind. This is an amazing third-person shooter, actually.
So good. So good.
It kind of pushed it, calling it Ghost Recon, because it really went pretty far from what Ghost Recon was.
Yeah.
But it still was an awesome game.
Yep. Yeah. Luke Sexton.
Luke speaking some facts here.
Raw remake would save Ubisoft. Yeah.
But very
Ubisoft
interesting.
Remake Raw and Vegas and stocks through the roof.
Very interesting side note here. Did you ever play Ghost Recon on not Ghost Recon, Advanced Warfighter on PC?
No, I only played it on console.
Completely different games. They're first person. They're actually like what Ghost Recon was.
No shit.
Like I think it follows the same story.
Yeah.
They're actually like tactical games, like almost like they used to be, where it's like 1 or 2 hits will kill you. They were actually pretty good. They were hard to, because the environments were just like Ghost Recon. They were huge.
Yeah,
but
I almost skipped Rainbow Six Vegas because I liked the idea of the old school Rainbow Six games, but they were so difficult because you were planning out the way they moved, and it was so very tactile. So
that did kind of go away with 3. But I remember one of my big hesitancies when Vegas was coming out was that every screenshot they showed was when the person was in cover. I'm like, why is it in third person? Like, these games are supposed to be first because they're supposed to be, the tactical squad-based shooters, whatever. But the reality is, when you weren't in cover, it played just like that. And technically, I mean, you would never survive, but you technically could play it without using cover. If you could play it in third if you wanted, or in first, I mean, if you wanted to. But oh man,
great games.
Well, that's why actually, now that we're talking about it, you remember I mentioned that
there's a game on Steam,
that Kickstarter game or whatever it was
that
actually is like by some of the original old Rainbow Six team. Let's see if that's on sale. I have it on my my wish list.
I can't remember.
I don't remember what it's called. That's the problem.
I know. I can't remember.
I have it on here. Let's see. Is it Ground Branch? I think that is it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Oh, is it
on sale? It is on sale.
How much?
30% off. It is
$20.99. Has it been updated lately at all or anything?
Let's see.
Probably not.
It doesn't say when the last update was, so I don't know.
Lame.
But I mean, it is early access, and I think see, the problem is there's no point in me buying it right now because I don't think it has much of a campaign yet.
Right.
I think that's much later.
But I think 6 Days in Fallujah does have
it has part of it. It has a couple missions.
So,
yeah.
Yep. So
the only other thing is, I mean, I don't know if you wanted to get into it now, but the topic that we were supposed to have last week that I forgot about because I wasn't prepared. I don't know if you wanted to bring that up.
What one? The music?
The music, yeah.
Oh, I might be a little bit too late for that.
That's fine.
Next week.
Yeah.
We'll go into it. I mean, we were talking about the Final Fantasy, going to see Final Fantasy Rebirth and stuff, but
since I was sick,
if I get into that,
really have the time to prepare for the show. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, because if I go into that, it's gonna be longer.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really good gaming music to talk about.
God, so good. We're probably just gonna start talking anyways, but yeah. So we probably should.
Since, I'll say this now because I also forgot to do this last week. But unless you have a question of the week, I'll pose one right now. It's a pretty simple one, pretty basic, but
no, you can go ahead.
Okay, it's very simple. I was going to tell everybody, and I'll post on Discord. What are your 5 favorite games of all time? There is a small rule to this.
Okay.
It's a simple rule.
It's already hard.
You cannot have the same series twice. So everything has to be
okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So I don't want to hear Halo 1, 2, and 3, right?
That actually makes it
you have Halo
easier.
1, but I don't want to hear the other 2.
It makes it easier, actually.
Really? Okay. Actually, in certain ways, for me, it does too.
5, top 5. Ooh. That's
for me, the top 2 are easy. They don't change.
Right.
3 is pretty consistent, and I think I know what it is. 4 and 5, though, there are about 10 games that really compete strongly for those. I'm gonna have so it's gonna be tough to really get there. And I won't cheat. We are not allowing any honorable mentions on this. 5 games. That's it.
Okay. See, that's the thing. Like, I haven't Kingdom Come 2 is probably going to be on that list for me already.
It's pretty high up on my list. I don't know if it's in my top 5, but it's very, very high for me for sure.
And that's the thing is it just came out. Should it be there this fast? And it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, that's a good one, and it's gonna be a toughie. So we'll put it.
It's a simple question, but it makes you Makes you work the noodle a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, and then next week will be the punishment as well.
The punishment, yes.
Oh,
I was about to say I hope you did remember your cookie this time, but you did.
I have two. Look at Luke already answering. I love it. Arkham Knight.
I'll give Luke credit. Outside of Arkham Knight, that's a genuinely good list. So sorry, Luke. I think Arkham Knight's the worst of the Arkham games. Actually.
Now,
but that's a dope list. Otherwise,
Halo Reach is
best Halo campaign. You watch your whore mouth right now. You watch your whore mouth. That's the best campaign. Okay.
But
I thought you were going to argue it. I thought you were going to argue it. I was going to kill you.
It was way back, and we're just to Luke in chat is from the Xbox expansion pass. Phenomenal podcast, great community. Go check him out. But him and Luke, who is his co-host over there, remember they did the
he is Luke. Him and Logan, you mean?
Him and Logan. Remember they did the tier of the Halo games, and
yeah, well, that was a long time ago. That was
it was like when
Logan first came on, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Logan
I do remember getting triggered by one of their things. I don't remember which one
Logan
it was,
wasn't a fan of Halo Reach. I think that's what it was.
One of them said Halo Infinite, I think, was number one, and Infinite's good, but I'm like, that's not even the top 3 for me.
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure Logan said he wasn't a Reach fan. I was like, oh my god,
I think
it's so good.
I think you might be right. And I was like, man, it's almost objectively the best campaign in the series.
It's so good.
Like it really might be. I think for
replayed it.
Like the top 3 Halo campaigns for me in order, and this does not change, is Reach, ODST. I'm sorry, Reach 3 ODST.
Yeah,
and like it's a big drop off after that. Yeah. Which I still like the other ones, but those 3 I like way more than the other ones. Yeah, see,
Logan does like right there with it's crazy. And I was like, I don't know if Logan should be on this show.
We can't have this heresy on an Xbox show. Yeah, that is interesting because most people do like Reach's campaign a lot. Like
Reach's,
most people do have Reach very, very high on the list.
Yeah,
so that's I do remember that when you said that. I do remember that, and I was like, yeah, that's a take.
I will say for a hot take on my end, I wasn't a huge fan of the Halo 2 campaign. I played it and I liked it.
Funny? I was not either until I played it again in the Master Chief Collection. I was like, this actually was better than I gave it credit for.
Now see, I haven't played it since the original, so maybe I might.
I want to say maybe when it came out, I was at the midnight sale, which that was a fun midnight sale actually.
I miss midnight sales.
So do I. All you digital bastards ruined that for us. I'm just gonna say that you ruined it for us. But I remember actually having I remember liking part of it, like up to like maybe give or take the Scarab. And but I was like, but then it gets really bad after that. But I'm like, actually, it really doesn't. I remember thinking there being a lot more flood in that than what there actually was. The funny part is, from day one, I loved 3. I'm like, there's a lot more flood in this than I remember there being. Actually,
3.
I was like, there's way more of the flood in this than I remember there being. and actually, I remember because I'm like, man, I must have completely blanked out on this. When Halo 3 came out, I remember the reviews said basically like it was an amazing campaign, except for the penultimate episode, which was High Charity, if I remember correctly. And after I beat it, I'm like, what are they talking about? That wasn't bad. When I played the Master Chief Collection, I'm like, I'm crazy. The only thing worse than this was the flood garbage from Halo 1. This was horrible. Why did I think this wasn't bad? It was terrible. But the flood was not as bad in Halo 3, except for that level where they were like fully mutated and stuff like that. They were terrible. But
no. But no, we'll copy Luke's list and bring it back next week too to go over it as well. But it's a solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, I cannot abide by Arkham Knight, but the other 4 are all games definitely worthy to be there, I think.
I could already go into God, so good.
Yep.
But yeah, so we'll put that in the old Discord and then go from there. But let's do you have your fortune cookie ready?
I flashed it in front of the camera a minute ago, so of course I do.
I've got to. I'll go first since it's been a little bit.
Yeah, you've been slacking on your duties here.
I know. I've been.
Man, you're in the depths of hell back there again.
I know,
it's very red right now. Jesus.
Man, good Lord, what the hell's going on back there? All right. Everybody's fortune from my end is: don't be a passenger in your own life. Be the driver. That's a solid one. But if
make sure you sign up for your Microsoft account before you drive.
Yeah, but if you add the what you're supposed to add on the end, don't be a passenger in your own life. Be the driver in bed. I don't know.
Mine works even better with the in bed.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
All things are difficult before they are easy in bed. You gotta get practice, folks. That's what it's telling you. Go out and get
Practice
some
makes
practice so it
perfect.
gets easy. That's right.
Do some research.
That's right.
God. Well, that was fun. It's good to be back. I haven't been back for a while, so I apologize to everybody that's been tuning in, and I also appreciate everybody
Now,
stepping up to
as
cover
much as I
me.
like to give you a hard
Rick,
time, you did actually genuinely have a valid reason to not be there for a
yeah,
couple weeks.
but
And then last week you had no power, so there wasn't much you could do
yeah,
about that.
that sucked. I was cold. I was
Yeah.
cold, but we're back. We're in fashion. We'll get some things lined up. See what we can get in. See what we can get going here. But yeah, it's been great, everybody. So we will see you next week, same place, same time.
Next week, I should have a statue to show.
Ooh. And I'll be eating fortune cookies and vinegar for my punishment. So
yeah, I should have my Assassin's Creed Shadows statue to show off. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, so that'll be good. And yeah, well, maybe we can do a little not deepish dive because that's out Thursday.
Yeah, we won't be able to get very deep into it.
No, yeah. So
especially based on some rumblings that I'm hearing in the dark recesses of the internet. Well, I'll leave you to deduce what that means.
We'll do some first impressions of it. We'll say, and maybe I'll still be in red wherever I am here. Jesus, I'm in the theme of shadows. I guess I don't know. Oh, Luke's playing it right now. Okay. So yeah, we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. And as always, play whatever you want, watch whatever you want to watch.
Unless it's Fortnite.
Unless Ellery, you can play Fortnite all you want. It's fine.
Ellery did ask what games would get banned. Well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll have to do some questions of the week next week
and
get caught up there too. I won't ban you, Ellery, but Rick.
I will.
I will. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Take care.